Welcome to today's episode of 3KTL. I'm Omar, that's Ebere.
Welcome.
We're today going to talk about our reactions to the FA Cup semi-final and the upcoming FA Cup final. Ebere, we defied the odds, both of us.
What an unlikely convergence that was. I remember us talking wishfully about this before those two games took place, And, we sort of were, talking in this manner, as if, oh, it wouldn't it be nice if, Arsenal and Chelsea met in the FA Cup finals, even though we sort of knew that was very unlikely. But look at what happened.
There was definitely some talking, speaking in jest, I'd say, over the likelihood that the two London clubs would beat the two Manchester clubs, but and yet here we are. I half expect us to sign David de Gea just out of courtesy at the end of the season. That was not a match that I expected to win, just given that we'd lost 3 times already this season. Now, to be fair, the manager set us out and the players went out from the first second and really executed the game plan. We really executed a great game plan. We were on them the whole time. We did everything right from a pressing standpoint. We took a number of their key players out and just kept them quiet. But we didn't do, we were not lethal in front of net. We were helped by a tremendous number of errors. In fact, none of the goals we scored were actually scored by without touching a member of Manchester United fatally before it entered the net. So, what can I say?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that I found very compelling is the narratives that the two teams had to navigate, to get here. We had lost at least twice to Manchester City, during this season, and we had lost decisively. They beat us fair and square. We were, beaten, and same, they beaten, the win, the 3 wins that Manchester United recorded over Chelsea were maybe less decisive, but at least, they were, emphatic in the manner, in the sense that, this was one after the other, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I have to be honest though. Your match was a little more impressive, mainly because even though I didn't watch it all, City could go through a run of 10 terrible matches and still show up and beat you. They have the quality. There's really no reason that Manchester United had beaten us 3 times this season. They didn't outplay us in any of those matches. We undid ourselves in parts, and they took decisive action when they had the opportunities. They were not the better team in my estimation this season. And you see the league table where I'm not thinking that because we're within a few points of each other, we're roughly the same maybe, but their team really, it's not a vintage United side. It's not one that I expect all those players to be staying around. They've been performing well for Ole, so I'll give them credit for that. But that was a match that we certainly should have had an opportunity to win. Your match, I think, was a much more impressive feat because, not to say that Arsenal versus City, even if we were playing City, I would have said the same. I mean, they've just been far and away better than everybody else, bar Liverpool this season. So the fact that you guys came to the show and really, did what was necessary and did it quite decisively is impressive. Actually,
yeah, which was why it was refreshing, that the two teams are where they are, right now. Of course, for us, it was absolutely the best game that Arsenal has played under Arteta, without a doubt. This was, the best game in terms of tactics, commitment, verve, panache, name it, we put all of that there.
Well, we could pat ourselves on the back all night, but we digress.
Let's pat ourselves on the back, but let's go on too.
Yeah, I suppose we'll do a bit of both throughout this period, right? Let's talk about the recent meetings between our two sides. There have been quite a few and quite a few finals. So, Ebere, I know you've done a little stat digging. Why don't you give us the rundown on that?
Yeah. Okay. So we've four major finals. Uh, 2002 FA Cup final. Arsenal won 2-0. 2007 League Cup final. Chelsea won 2-1. Uh, FA Cup final 2017. Arsenal won 2-1. Europa Cup final. Chelsea won 4-1. So those are the four meetings that Arsenal and Chelsea have had in the past 18-20 years, and it's two each. We've won the FA Cup finals. You've won one League Cup and one Europa Cup, but Chelsea has won most recently. In the sad to say emphatic fashion that they won the Europa Cup last year. So that's
I could tell the difficulty with the way that came out as you were trying to recite that score.
yes. Yes, my tongue turned to lead, as I was doing that. Yeah, and I've got to recover my composure
Well said.
after all of that.
Well, clearly we're talking about the two most recent finals are the ones to be talking about. The other two are so far back that precious few in the last 20 years to really go by for those kinds of high intensity matches.
Yeah, the sample size is small. Yeah,
Yeah, I would say certainly both of these. I wonder in 2017 this FA Cup final, Aubameyang was not there.
no, he wasn't. The star of that game was Sanchez.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
That's
Victor
right.
Moses had gotten himself sent off in that game for diving. For diving as a second bookable offense. Yes. Yeah.
That's right. I remember that.
Yes. Yes.
I
And
remember
then
that.
Chelsea went.
Yeah.
We were
What
leading 1-0.
frustrating.
We were leading 1-0 because of a goal that seemed like it was offside, but was actually onside. And Chelsea stopped playing, and then Sanchez snuck in and scored. And then Moses got sent off, and Chelsea equalized with 10 men. And then up popped Ramsey, with a header, and that scored, broke Chelsea hearts. Drove a stake through their hearts, which
So basically, what we're saying is that none of those players that witnessed that match, that really played in that match, very few, if any, really are going to take that into this match.
absolutely no. This is a new crop of players, both sides. Yes.
The Europa League final, there are I would say several key players for Chelsea that are not no longer here, but several key players that are here,
That are there.
still here for that final. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to mention Giroud, right?
Well, obviously he had an impact, right? He had a hell of a match that day,
Yeah.
so can't discount that.
Do you think he's going to be decisive in this one, given that he might play? Do you think he's going to want to do the same thing he did against us in the Europa League?
The last month or two, he's basically scored every time he's been on the pitch. Anytime he's been selected, he has scored. So the answer, is that if he starts, yes, I do expect him to be decisive. Not because it's Arsenal. I think that will just be added motivation, but because he has been actually on a tear lately. So we really are learning how to play with him.
Well, it's a good thing that Aubameyang is on a tier as well. He's found his scoring boots, and
Indeed.
you know, bring it on then. That's what I would say.
Aubameyang is in the running for the Golden Boot again, is he not?
He is, yes.
Well, that's something to be worried about, and we just need to be able to shackle him. I mean, I think we have the speed to manage him. I think we have players that can manage him. One thing that concerns me is I know he tends to play off to the left, does he not, and then drift in.
Yes.
So that means that he will probably match up against either Reece James or Azpilicueta.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it will be Azpilicueta because he's more of a traditional defender. James is very quick, but he's not. I don't think he will track that movement as well as Azpilicueta will. So let's hope that is the case.
We just need to be nice and tight. Make sure that we don't give, Mason Mount or any of those Pulisic, any of those little speeders you guys got there, any sniff, to cause any trouble for us. And just keep Giroud quiet, with the corners and the crosses. Just make sure somebody stands in front of him, make sure he doesn't get his head on the ball.
Yeah, just stand in front of him. That'll fix it. Easier said than done is what I'll say to all of that. That's quite a wish list you put together.
No, not a problem. You just put a wish list together too, so I'm doing the same as well.
Well, we've talked through a little bit about this, and we don't want to give a full preview of next week since we were going to try and do it in a separate episode here. But, is there any reasons that we can think of that this go round will be different than, say, the last two meetings? And I'd say we already touched on one. That is, there are several players that are different this time around, and we both undergone some reinvention. We both have new managers. So why don't you touch on a little bit of that and add whatever else you might want to sprinkle in?
I think that the Arsenal players have a motivation to play really well in this game. We certainly have more to gain than Chelsea does. Chelsea already is in the top four, so they're going to play in the Champions League, all things being equal. We are not in Europe at all, so this is our only chance. This is our only chance to get into Europe. And this is our only chance to also salvage something, from the season. If Chelsea goes on, to lose the game, they'll still have, the top four. The season will still be considered a success, not an unqualified one, but to some extent a success, and less so, for Arsenal. So I think the players and the coach are going to be very mindful, of that, and I hope that gives them the extra motivation to win.
Those are very good points and hard to argue with any of them, especially the Europe argument. Chelsea's certainly not there yet. We need to win one of our last two. Thankfully, some results just went our way the last few weeks, so we do need to just get 3 points to secure it for sure. But that's probably going to be on the last day of the season. So let's hope for the best there. But that doesn't change anything because we would be in the Europa League. We don't need the FA Cup to go to the Europa League. So that's a big motivator for Arsenal, and I expect that will play a part, no doubt about it. I think that this is going to be a very open match, more than the last time. And I think the last time it was really dependent on Eden Hazard coming and really put on a show. He knew it was his last match, and he's not there right now. Maybe this time will be a contest where players are looking to make a name. This will be the first opportunity.
Thank God he isn't.
Well, you may be surprised when you see who's replacing him. It's not one player, it's a few players, and they are just as dangerous in my view. I think that this will be the first chance for a lot of players on both sides to get a trophy. And so either way, I think there's a lot of motivation out there. So I think that will make a big difference between last time and this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think you make a compelling argument about the motivation that Chelsea is going to bring to the game. Even though I am hoping, that Arsenal brings a bit more hunger to the game. So, well, till then. Let's.
We'll just have to see.
We'll have to see. Yes, we would have to see.
Yeah. So I guess we'll wrap it up here for today, and look forward to chatting with you next time when we do a full preview of the final.
Precisely.
All right, my friend. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in a few days.
You do the same.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed watching that video as much as Ebere and I enjoyed making it for you. If you did like what you see, we'd really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to make sure that you get notices anytime we post a video, which we plan on doing weekly. Also, we'd love your comments, both on the production and suggestions for new topics for us to debate in the comments below, so please don't hesitate to let us know what you think. Thanks for your support, and until next time.